before. Okay. Oh, a lot of newcomers. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. Okay, so one small thing I actually really like about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the amount of fan art that we actually get in this. It's actually like really good stuff. I mean, this is 6 cards all together, and that they were just an attribute type. They were just Charmer of Fire, Water, Wind, Earth, Light, and Dark, and they were so well put together and well received. I thought it's very important that I honor them in my own way, that I like to call, screw the Louvre, I have fan art. So, the first one I have here is Chaos Emperor Dragon and Envoy of the Beginning, Blockbuster Soldier. There is powerful movement in this. You see the very obvious movement from positive to negative, even though it's using positive space. The use of color is minimalistic and gives a very nice touch to it. And I absolutely adore this. It takes a really derpy looking dragon and makes it look ominous. Like, I'm gonna get murdered by this thing. And seriously, this is great. Another good one is when Jesse turns evil. He gets the fall leather outfit, but this is like a portrait that you would hang symbolizing this character's change. You see the broken flower petals and the breaking crystals in the background, and you realize that this is him at his most powerful, but it's also when it's at its most broken. This is Elemental Hero and a Gear-Free Golem.
Ancient Gear Golem.
Ancient Gear Golem.
Golem.
Well, I'm mixing attributes, but the important thing about this art is the fact that it goes straight back to the Marvel comic book style. This is episode 1, but I would read a comic about this. This looks like a dynamic hero fighting the giant evil mecha monster. And this is actually one of my personal favorites. This is Mako Tsunami.
Freaky fish guy. The fish guy.
But it's at a memorial that's supposed to be his father. He looks out to the ocean not with anger, but with respect and reverence. This is very, very powerful. You can see his eyes aren't on his father's grave, it's to the sea, about to where his spirit would reside. And that's why I feel that all fan art is very, very important. Okay. I got this because it's the Karibo with the sunglasses, yes! It's totally not from my personal collection. Okay, so guys, how does this panel work? Wow, you can't read that at all. People in the audience will ask questions about anything Yu-Gi-Oh! Related. I will respond with my opinion or insight into it. Someone else has something new. And then people can ask more than one question, but I ask please let everybody else in the room get a chance to ask their question first, and then I'll go around and get second questions around. I want to make sure everybody participates on this. And so some words of warning. I will have spoilers mentioned all the time. I'm sorry. It's kind of part of the gig right now. Some of this is 10 years old. It's time you learned. I haven't seen anything in Zexal or Arc V past episode 2 of each. I have reasons. I'm willing to talk about it as much as I can and willing to give my own insight to what I got from it, though. This panel is not 18+, so I'm not allowed to talk about anything that's 18+. However, at 11 p.m. in Omaha G, we are going to be doing Enter the Shadow Realm, where I can talk about all those things, and you can realize why I really did get that piece of fan art with Karibo and the sunglasses and nothing else. If the question is about my honest opinion, you're going to get it. That doesn't make it right, that makes it my opinion. That's a very important point I want to make.
Makes it the right.
Okay, so now, let's do Duelist Academy 2014. I'm going to open the floor to questions with that guy.
Thank you. First of all, I'm not going to ask about received instruction this year, so...
Okay.
What is pendulum summoning?
Pendulum summoning is a very interesting mechanic. Imagine you have the top half as an effect monster and the bottom half as a spell card. Now imagine your field of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of monsters and spells. You just put one on each of the end. Like they're slapped on like a Nintendo accessory. Then you put them on top of each other and you have like one has a pendulum scale of 1, one has a pendulum scale of 7. You can now summon any monster between levels 2 and 6 from your hand once per turn, or face up pendulum monsters in your extra deck. I sound really confusing right now. Yeah. Here's how it works. I'm the main protagonist! I don't remember how to do this, but it's cool! Mario.
Well, let's actually give it 2 cards.
Sure.
First, you mentioned that the elemental heroes reminded you of Marvel. Does that mean that, like, Destiny heroes are like DC?
It's more like the anti-heroes in Marvel, like Deadpool, Doctor Doom obviously would be Doomlord. The very good inference with that, and it's not just specifically Marvel, it could be Marvel or DC, but it's definitely American comic books that they're pulling from.
And then, the second question is, and this is more just me asking, like, what the hell, but but I got that, new legendary pack which has the God cards and all
Yep.
that. Why aren't the God cards playable?
There are playable versions. The first ones that came in the first Legendary collections were like, hey, you like these cards? You remember getting ripped off paying for these cards because you thought they were real? Thanks, Upper Deck. Yeah, we totally have the real fake God cards you can use and the real cards you can also play. Money, please.
Pretty much.
In fact, that's Konami's tagline. Konami, money, please. Yes.
So, in the show, when the players are playing the cards, they have the attack and defense, and it's in very big letters, and you can't see anything else. How do they know what the effects of the cards are?
That's actually funny. There's one moment where Yugi is on a date, and he gets interrupted by this one jackoff who's better at DDR. I remember that. Was joking. It's like, I'm better than DDR at you. What? You showed me up, Taya. I'm gonna duel you now because I'm obviously good at 2 things that mean nothing. So now he goes out and duels, and it's like, I don't know how to play this game. I don't really have friends. And Yugi goes, well, apparently you should have read the rule book. And I went, whoa, hold on. Pegasus has at least 10,000 cards. You are telling me the starter deck probably is about this thick and says, by the way, memorize every single one of these. What? You're telling me everybody has this memorized? No wonder we just pull effects out of nowhere.
What in your opinion is the worst arc of the show?
My opinion on the worst arc of which one? Just in all of Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yes.
Okay, this goes into another debate I have, and I know it sounds weird, but follow me along. Yu-Gi-Oh is a show where you are only evil as you are gay.
Yeah.
Let's follow this idea. Maximilian Pegasus, not the greatest villain in the world, but does pretty well. We find out he's trying to follow his wife. Okay, so he's still evil, but wasn't the greatest bad guy. On the other end of the spectrum, we have Merrick.
Yeah.
Who grew up in his mother's basement. The only woman in his life is his sister. He hangs out with leather men. He's trying to get leather pants off of some guy he's never met, but he looks really nice. He's got a back tattoo. He holds a really phallic item. He gets along with Bakura really well for his like, hey, I was on a motorcycle. I don't care. We should team up. I don't care. I wish I knew how to quit you. I don't care. But on the other end of the spectrum gets to be the worst series. Everybody remembers, or doesn't like to remember, the Kaiba Land Tournament. Ooh. Does anyone remember Siegfried?
Yes.
You poor miserable souls. He is a terrible villain. He shows up. His character motivation is, Kaiba stole the patent from me. I gotta go over to his tournament, and I gotta show him I'm better at card games than he is, and win the non-existent money. Then I'll feel better. He doesn't get to the final duel. Kaiba shows up after jetpacking in. No, I'm not making this up. He jetpacks into the duel. It's like, you know what, Siegfried? I'm tired of this. We're dueling right now. Kaiba wins. He literally says, get out of my tournament. His younger brother is the one who fights Yugi.
With fairy tale.
Really? They're based off of fairy tales. The reason I knew he was going to be a bad villain was because of 2 things. 1, he uses a Valkyrie deck, which means his deck is lined with women. But also, there's one scene that guarantees he's going to be the worst. He's leaving his giant mansion, and there is 100 maids on either side saying, "Good luck, master, at the tournament." "Thank you, ladies. I'll certainly help you all." Well, he's straight as an arrow. He's not going to win at all. He's going to be the worst villain. And that was the worst. We're going to have Grandpa show up. Why? Because it's cool. We're going to have this entire arc because, hey, I haven't written this part yet. Just throw something together.
Pretty much.
It was awful. Okay, and like I said, if you've already asked a question before, make sure you don't have your hand up. Yes. Yes, Fez.
What is your opinion on Yuma?
On Yuma? Yuma, I know, goes through a lot of development later, but at first, he doesn't leave the impression I really like. I know some people say that it's good because he's not the uber top tier protagonist, but my argument is he's someone that has lost 50 times in a row to his opponent. You're telling me someone could... Shark never once dead drawed, got a terrible hand, had a cold, was late for an appointment. Yuma never got the best hand that he could after 50 games in a row? You had a 2% chance of victory out of all of that, and you failed every single one. Well, this is going to be great. And you know how he's going to win? Because some mythical spirit comes over and it's like, "Hey, Yuma, you should use trap cards." Oh, right!
Right.
I'm not joking! But he does go through a lot of change later that I haven't seen myself, but a lot of people have been telling me that the second half of Zexal is supposedly better than my favorite arc of 5Ds. That's, again, his opinion, and it's completely up to you. That's just how I feel about it. Yes, Doctor.
Why are you tuning into the OCG Koya number 39
Okay, so if you didn't know, another thing about Zexal that kind of turned me off is Yuma. My memories are shattered. You need to collect all 99 pieces. Okay, we're done. We're not gonna play Inuyasha with trading card games. I'm sorry, we're done with this. Oh, and you know what? There's the Tachyon numbers. What's that? It's Tachyon, it's add-on, and we added up 107, 110. It literally goes up to 1,000,000. Why? Why did we need this? Can't we just have people who duel with dragons or gods or future dragon gods? It's really not hard. You just pick an archetype that's not 1, 2, 3. You, sir.
Why is Kaiba never happy?
I am the richest man in the world. I have the ability to buy a car at a moment's notice by just walking into it, writing a check, and saying, "Here you go," and I drive off. I had my entire company built from the ground up from when I was an orphanage, and I am the top world-ranked duelist. And a schmuck from out of nowhere just beat me by cheating. I swear to God I ran the numbers. It's impossible to draw Exodia. This shrimp keeps on showing me up, and I try to pay tens of millions of dollars, and yet this never, ever works! And he wins because he's a friend! Friendship? Are you kidding me? I am rich enough to outbid Tony Stark at auction. That's true. Because let's be honest, Tony Stark was an arms dealer. Kaiba originally had Kaiba Corp as an arms dealing and said, "You know what, that's not lucrative enough. Let's go into card games." And he was right.
But then cards become weapons when whatever happens when they bring back the Shadow games.
Ugh, no kidding.
I would just like to point out that Tony Stark did branch off after he stopped being an arms dealer into like electronics and clean energy, which probably is really, really good.
True, but Tony Stark also did buy out Area 51 when he was broke. Actual panel in the comic. You, sir, in the back.
When we were talking about the gods earlier, why the heck have I not seen Slifer the Sky Dragon?
Slifer the Sky Dragon is printed as a TCG available card, but it's not reprinted because money! Konami, money please. Yes.
Well, you said what you thought the worst one was. What do you think the best arc is?
My favorite arc actually is Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds in the Dark Signer arc.
Yes.
It sounds hokey, but they added more villains, but it works better. It's not Merrick as the antithesis to everyone. Everybody has their own shadow to face. And without spoiling too much, everybody has to face a dark side of themselves. There's the light and there's the dark. And dark seems like a very good way to do this. Carly starts out, well, I guess I'm going to spoilers now like I warned you about, so spoilers. Carly becomes a dark signer, which means that she had died and she has to face Jack. Jack loves Carly and is sincerely thinking that if he can get into a draw, they can both live and not have to be sacrificed, and Carly sacrifices herself. That speaks volumes. You also have Yuze versus Kiryu. Kiryu wants nothing more than to kill his best friend because he got sent to jail by his best friend. Yuze actually, in all reality, tried to sacrifice himself, but in every single instance he tried, he failed and he still went to jail. So now he has to live between either dying for his friend for an empty victory or choosing to kill his friend again by his own hand and actually do it himself. That's heavy stuff! This is the fate of the world! The world will be covered in darkness, and flashlights won't be available! Really, why is it covered in darkness? That's not a problem. Have you seen Tron? That was great!
Wait, which Tron?
Tron Legacy?
Duh.
Yeah? You, sir.
What is your argument about capsule monsters?
The video game or the actual board game?
Or the story arc. The story arc. Oh boy.
So get this! Alexander the Great played Duel Monsters with capsules. The best thing to come out of that was, hey, I have dual armor. What's that? Fan service. I put a card on it and I magically get armor of it. This is so cool! He has Dark Magician armor! And it just upgraded the Dark Magician of Chaos armor! This is so cool! This is a really bad series, but this looks so amazing! I'm gonna turn it down and just fangasm the whole time. Yes, sir.
Will they ever come out with the Crimson Dragon card?
I really don't think they will. Because the Crimson Dragon is actually Quetzalcoatl, the actual spirit of the land, that wasn't used in a duel. And I would argue that Shooting Quasar Dragon is basically the Crimson Dragon because it's all of the Signer Dragons combined. Shooting Quasar was the union between all of the Signers and all their hopes and all their dreams. And that, in essence, is what the Crimson Dragon isn't, in my opinion. Now, was that stop anyone from making fan art versions and saying that it's a fusion between all 6 of them and that you had to have either one of them in your hand and all of them in your extra deck and have really confusing abilities? And why did you print it so small? I can't read it! If I can't read the card, I can't play it. Oh, right, we read the anime where it's like, rulebook! You, sir.
If I use friendship against you in a duel, why win?
It depends on the amount of friendship and how gay I am. If I'm really gay and use a lot of friendship, you're basically guaranteed.
Give him a friendship speech.
You remember the World Championship duel where the guy in the real TCG where he wins and then his wife comes over and hugs him and then his children come over and they hug him too? Yeah, I don't. So, yeah. Nightwing.
Okay, what's up on dual runners?
Okay, originally, card games on motorcycles. This is the stupidest idea ever. After watching 5D's episode 1, oh my god, why didn't I think of this sooner? It's the gladiatorial fight between 2 champions, the gladiatorial fight between monsters, and chariot races all at the same time! This is amazing! You're gonna crash, but this is amazing. Like they don't like say, oh well, we never crash at all. Jack crashes 5 times and goes into the hospital.
Yeah.
Wear a helmet! And then originally my argument was, oh, well guys, you're forgetting the 2 seconds where it says, dual mode on, autopilot standby, it's autopilot, it's really not that dangerous. WRGP, let's have a tournament where we turn the autopilot off! You're not helping my argument!
Yep.
And it's not like subtle, they just like they stop saying, they made a point of it. They say it like 7 times through the series. You're turning the autopilot off. Why? I'm already thinking about how many cards are in my deck. I don't want to think which way I need to steer and not die.
Dual boards. I hear you then.
Dueling on skateboards, dueling in space, dueling on roller coasters. There is a card from Zexal that is a field spell called Action Sky Duel. It reads as thus: while this card is in play, all players must be skydiving. It's like, I asked online, it's like, guys, what anime-only card would you want to print? And that was the top result. It's like, I hate you all. And it's like, you play the spell. Hey, Judge, we gotta get in the plane. Bye! Yes, sir.
What is the most ridiculous Yu-Gi-Oh card ever?
Oh boy.
Darkly Big Rabbi. What? It is a Chinese version of Exodia. Where they translated it very poorly. It is the worst card. You won't buy it, you won't find it if you want it, and it's completely unusable. That is the worst possible amount of card.
What's the name of it again?
Darkly Big Rabbi.
Oh, lovely.
Chinese don't know how to translate worth of crap. You, sir.
What's your thought on having multiple field spells in play at the same time?
It's interesting. They changed 2 rules about it. One being that you can have 2 field spells at any one time, and the second being that if you play a field spell on top of your own, it doesn't destroy it. On the second one, I missed my Gear Town combo. I could summon a level 8 monster from my deck that's a giant dragon made of machine parts because I destroyed something. And that is kind of like saying, I'm going to build Tokyo, then blow it up, and then magically there's a robot standing right there for my wins. And I can do this 30% of the time with an opening hand. It was glorious, and they took it away. But instead, I had the ability to play a field spell, and now they can't troll me by saying, oh, I'm going to play my other field spell. Oh, God. Ow. Yeah, it's still there. Effects are still activated. You hate Necro Valley? Great! Because I don't.
So that's one of the new rules?
Yes, that is one of the new rules.
The other one is if you start first, you cannot draw.
The starting, if you're the turn start player, you start with 5 cards, not 6. Some people said that it's going to ruin the game, it's going to unbalance it. I argue, look, I've done combo decks in the past. It's not that big of a problem. Magic does it all the time. And they have way more ridiculous combos. Have you ever been infinite turned, unable to activate anything lock? No? Shut up! Sora.
I'm kind of a little bit behind on the series a little bit, but
Sure.
what is the point of Arc V?
Konami. Money, please. I mean, it's funny. Every single time, Kazuki Takahashi doesn't know when to stop. Because at first it's like, I make one series, I'm going to make a second one, it's happier. And then I'm done, we're going to make a movie. Well, okay, so you got another idea? This is really good. You know, let's write one more series. And then we're going to write the movie, and the movie's not going to do that well. And around how much? Million? We could make another series, even though I said it was going to be the last one. Okay, we're done. We made Zexal. We're completely done. Hey, can we still make more money? Yeah, we can make more money. Absolutely. We can swing it. I have an idea. Swinging pendulums. We got it. Arc V.
I'm just like, because I haven't seen any of it, what is the plot of Arc V at all?
So get this.
Oh boy.
We have holodecks. We can create matter, that we can create duel monsters we can ride. And this gets more into the 18+ panel, which I'm sure people will ask about later.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
But I don't think we would use it for that reason. And they use it for performance battles. You can go out and ride your dragon. You find action cards and you can perform. It's all theater, which is cool and the weirdest idea ever because Kaiba Corp's not there, it's the Leo Corporation. So I think they wanted to do Cardfight Vanguard, but they realized that Cardfight Vanguard wasn't doing so well in the anime department.
Wasn't Leo one of the name of the kids from 5Ds?
Yes, but it's...
Maybe it's his corporation.
Well, that was Rua and Ruka. They translated his name as Leo as the 4Kids dub, though. So it's not exactly the same person.
4Kids.
Yep.
4Kids.
There's only been one 4Kids edit I have been completely happy with. I cosplay the very first Darksigner we see, and his name was told by Carly, and he goes, Dick? Dick Pitt, is that you? I want to cosplay that. Oh, I don't want to be known as Dick Pitt. And then 4Kids came out and they went, Grady? Yes, yes, Grady. His name's Grady from now on. I don't care. The Japanese are wrong. It's not Dick Pitt. Arguably the best villain ever for reasons. I mean, I really hope I don't have to resort to stripping. And then it goes, and now ascending to the stage, Dick Pitt. Hey, baby, what's your sign? Yes.
What do you think about Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0?
Oh, lovely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's the original Yu-Gi-Oh's funny because Kazuki Takahashi wrote it because he wanted to be sure that kids don't just play video games, they aren't barriered by a screen, they want direct interaction. They want like board games. In the back of every single one of them, he makes his own games, and a lot of them are really fun. They're really great and creative. The content is a little bit backwards because you're trying to promote friendship, but then Saw is happening. It goes like this. I'm a jerk. I want to play a game. Here's how it goes. Ironic twist of fate. You lose. Oh no! Ironic twist of fate! What happened? Why am I here? Is that chloroform? Actual episode.
Yeah. Lighter.
Alright, and like has everybody gotten the chance to ask a question who hasn't asked it yet? Okay, good. I just want to double check. You.
Which Yu-Gi-Oh character had the best haircut and the worst haircut?
The best haircut and the worst haircut. I would say the best haircut belongs to Jaden because it's the most realistic. It looks like a Karibo, but it's adorable and fluffy. The worst haircut. One of my favorite photos of the crossovers between all the series is Yuze, Yugi, and Jaden laughing at Yuma's haircut. It's like, it's a lobster! What are you doing? Yes, sir.
How far is Konami willing to go with all these special songs synchros, these pendulums? What's gonna be next? How broken is he willing to take this game?
I can't believe now that there is a day where Jinzo is seen as a completely useless monster. But he got support, so he's actually maybe coming back. But it's just like, there are things that I used to collect and were thinking they were the best thing ever, and now they're horrible. On the antithesis is what I like to call the Rescue Cat effect. Rescue Cat used to be a card that's like, oh, it's a cute little kitty, and it summons 2 monsters from your deck, but they can't attack, and they go away during the end of the turn. So the original idea is, put into play, your opponent moves, pray they don't do anything, then make 2 creatures, tribute them both, get a big monster out. Not a great card. Synchro summons. Well, now we're talking. Now we have a tuner, a non-tuner, and now I just special summoned a level 6 monster from my deck consistently. Oh!
Yeah.
That cat got scary. And it's kind of petering like this in the stock market, and then it happened. Good Lord, wow, that happened. But to answer your question, I don't know where they're going with this. I just imagine if I get on whatever they're on, because their R&D department is clearly the World Tournament, they don't test this worth of crap. We're pretty damn sure. They don't think about how this works at all. They just make an archetype, they make it better, and they say, hey, money please.
So it's a season winning Yu-Gi-Oh!
Kind of. Okay, who hasn't asked a question yet? You.
How many other names for the dubbing would change because they weren't very good after they translated them?
A good chunk of them. Funny story about changing dub names. My friend, who's kind of into Yu-Gi-Oh, was watching the first episodes of 5Ds in English, and his name was Jack Atlas. And he thought, oh, well, he must have had the most Japanese name ever. Except when you watch the Japanese dub, it's the introduction, and it's Jack Atlas! It's like, this is the best thing ever. He don't give a crap. He's the king, baby. It's like, that was just in a great moment. It's like, this is going to be a great show. This is going to be great. You, sir.
What's your take on Slifer's effect if you special set him?
If you special set him?
Yeah.
You're really gonna keep doing that? You're really gonna say, oh, it's special set, and it's there, it's face down, its effect doesn't go off, it's gonna sit there. Why are we putting it in defense mode? That's kind of like saying, hey, if I plug chicken into my USB outlet, what's gonna happen? Well, I can estimate what's gonna happen, but why are you asking? Who hasn't asked a question yet? David.
What's your thought on GX the dub versus sub and the fact they cut out a whole season and a half?
Oh, yeah.
The funny thing, if you follow what the dub ending is, David's dead.
Yeah.
He doesn't come back. He learned friendships like Yubel. I'm sorry. And Yubel's like, I'm androgynous, and I'm okay with that. And they learn friendship, and then Cyrus is there like going, oh, my friend's gone. I hope I can learn to play card games later. The end. We're kind of missing two really big villains, two of which are the best villains ever, arguably. One of them was named Truman, the true dark nature in people's hearts. But you can call me Mr. T. No, I freaking can't, because now every single time he moves, it's like, trap card, sucker! I'm gonna gold chain this! Truman don't do anything with planes! And then the villain they choose to fight at the end of GX is the Darkness. I'm not kidding. The literal configuration of the darkness of hearts and men, a five-winged, skull-faced demon! And well, I wonder how they were going to edit that. It's, look, it's a sandwich. It's a sandwich fighting. Money, please. All right, anyone else not asked a question yet? You.
What would your opinion be if the duelists had the 3D things like they do in Yu-Gi-Oh when you get attacked by a monster and you do damage?
Do we really have sadistic people like that? I mean, did no one think it's like, hey, if this thing attacks me, can I please not get electrically shocked, stabbed, burned? Thanks! Well, that's what the Shadow Realm's for, yeah. And then it's like, hey, I'm kind of a sadistic guy. Wanna be on fire? Sure. No! Top cookie! Alright, has anyone else not asked a question that needs to? Yes?
Okay, so of all the regions in Yu-Gi-Oh, like the very important main characters like Yugi, Jaden, Yusei, and Yuma all have monsters that have 2,500 attack points, while the secondary main characters have 3,000. Jaden, Yugi, and the others always beat the secondary main characters. Why is that?
Because they don't usually use that at the end. Their final card usually has a way absurd more attack points, and their attacks tend to be towards the 4,000 range. And money, please.
Oh, Nami.
You have to start somewhere, and it's good that they start somewhere in that if your antagonist seems weaker than you, it doesn't portray well. Having an antagonist that's big and you root for the underdog and it wins works better than, hey, I got a 3,000 attack point monster. What have you got, rival? A Karibo. Oh, that's nice. I'm the king of games. What? That would be a great show to talk to children. Hey, take your enemies to the curb. Small guy doesn't matter. Yes.
Has anyone in this room found a black cat?
I found a black cat.
I accept that. I was in a previous panel.
I have. Have you been to Con Ops yet?
Yeah, check it, Con Ops.
Double check with Con Ops. They have lost and found. Cool. You, sir.
What do you think about old cards from like season 1 being remade, like they did the Six Samurais? And what are your opinion on that?
In a word. I enjoy that. I enjoy that they're going back to their roots and doing something better. They're not making a new one that we're getting tired of and we're going to make nicknames about and we're going to get tired of, and the next one's going to be better than even that. I like the idea of going back and rebalancing an archetype, giving them a new idea, give them a new direction, give them new support that we've never had before. That to me is cool. That means that they're understanding that people have grown up with this game, and that if there are new players, they can get in touch with the older cards and not just say, hey, look, newer cards, buy the newer cards. Yeah. This one says, buy the newer cards, but keep the collection that you have. And it's really, really cool.
Especially when they work together.
No kidding. All right, and I think, has there been anyone who hasn't asked a question yet but wants to? Yes.
Okay, I'm not really sure on the name, but in
Sure.
the GX manga, they had a character who gave Jaden his Wing Karibo that wasn't Yugi, and then they changed it to Yugi in the TV show. What was that about?
I would argue that the change for the anime was really because they wanted to pass the torch. They want to go from, hey, this is Yu-Gi-Oh!, this is the same world, this isn't a reimagining, this is the same world, and we're going to pass the torch on to him. And that this spirit is going to guide him through the whole thing. And so there's always that touch that is at the beginning of it, and that GX is still true to the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think that's why they did it. The manga tends to make a lot of differences. Like in the first one of 5Ds, Yuze has a duel on a bike, and then his opponent is a skeleton on a skeleton horse.
Yeah. That is pretty sweet, though.
That was weird. All right, anyone else who hasn't asked a question but needs to? Yes?
Have you read the disclaimer thing in the back of the 5Ds manga that says it was written after the anime came out?
Yep. But it's changed because he wants to tell a new story, and I'm okay with that.
They did that for the GX one too.
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering, why wasn't the Orichalco season and, well, even though it was pretty bad, but the KC Grand Championship not made into the manga, and it just ended right after the Battle City and went right to the ancient Egypt?
Filler arcs.
Money, please.
I'm serious. These were written in a time when they said, you know what, Kazuki Takahashi's a busy man. He's writing the manga, he's inking it, he's designing it, he's doing everything about this. He's a really busy man. We're going to rewrite and add some new content over here and try to get more money while we do this and not lose money, because losing money is bad. And we're going to try to write this out. And Kazuki Takahashi doesn't write a lot outside of it. In fact, that's kind of why Yu-Gi-Oh! R exists. Yu-Gi-Oh! R was, hey, I'm Kazuki Takahashi. I'm making a lot of money. You draw something similar to mine. Here, draw this story and make me money, please. I would hate that if it wasn't for the fact that it's so good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, if you haven't read Yu-Gi-Oh! R, it's a beautiful 5-volume series, and I honestly would put it in canon right after Battle City.
That was good. That was good.
Yes?
What about the fact that they have never brought dubbed 5Ds to English TV?
I miss it. But you know what? God, I know in a couple times I argued, please take the 4-Kids dub away. Thank you! Thank you, God, you listened! 4K, you are my savior! They put Yu-Gi-Oh! On Hulu now!
Yeah!
They put Yu-Gi-Oh! On Netflix! It's available! And when you bought the DVD of the new series for all of it, it includes the Japanese subs! It's so good! It's like, why didn't we do this sooner? Wasn't it Konami money, please? Really? Guys, come on! This thing prints money. Have you seen the card game? Yes.
So I haven't read all the manga, but has there ever been a female protagonist for Yu-Gi-Oh?
There hasn't been a female main lead.
Why hasn't there yet?
Male demographic, hard to get to the male fantasy. If you have a female lead, it's bullshit. The reasoning for them saying all that is bullshit. Now, I'm not saying having a female lead is bullshit. Because Carly, Akiza, and Misty, the Darksigner, all very strongly independent women, and they're written beautifully. Because they're written like male characters. They're written with strengths, hopes, fears. And like, I saw a duel between two women and I cared. That would have been impossible in the original series. One's going breasts, one's going friendship. And they have a debate and then the breasts feel sorry and gives them shark tips.
Yeah.
It's not where Aki is confused going, I didn't kill your brother, and he goes, you've gone psycho so many times and you've hurt so many people, how do you know you didn't? Oh. Crap. It's on. Okay. Ivy.
What is the jankiest deck you've ever built?
Oh no, he's doing
Okay. I call it Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Here's how the combo works. You have a card called Dark Scorpion Burglars. Whenever this card deals damage to your opponent, they must pick one spell card from their deck and send it to the graveyard. There's another card called Creature Swap. You and your opponent pick a creature, swap them. Hippo Carnival! It's a quick play spell card that has 3 hippos dressed like Las Vegas dancers. I'm not making this up, but you can special summon them in attack mode. Then there's a card that you're gonna pick to mill every single time that you hit, that you're gonna attack with those tokens to attack the burglar, take 1,000 damage every time. So you're gonna lose 3,000 life. But you mill a card called Jackpot 7. Jackpot 7 says when this card is sent from the deck to the graveyard, banish it. If you banish 3 of these, you win. Let's count. You have my Dark Scorpion Burglar. I attack with Hippo 1. Mill Jackpot 7. So we watch the roulettes go. 7, 7, 7. Ding, 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 ding. The hippos win. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Damage yourself to mill 1 card to win the game. Not Exodia, not Reversal Quiz, not a burn deck, hippos!
Hungry.
Dancing hippos, we are all in ArcV. I am really confused. Why are they still here? Who designed ArcV and said, you know what we need in the first episode? Las Vegas style hippos. We need 3 of them. They need to be in the opening. They need to be in the first 5 minutes of the first episode. No one in the room said this is a dumb idea, and no one in the room said, you're right, thanks for saving me from doing something really stupid. Yes.
Remember when during the beginning of the panel, I didn't say I was going to do Reshift of Destruction?
Yeah.
About that.
How you?
You're welcome.
Okay, so let's be clear about what Reshift of Destruction is. Reshift of Destruction is a video game where you can play the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. They had a really backward system.
It was the sequel.
Cards had a point-buy system. I'm gonna say that again. Cards had a point-buy system to put in the cards into the deck. So you're not gonna make it as your favorite cards that if you buy them, you can use them. It's, well, you're not a professional enough duelist.
So,
here's how you use a really crappy card. I play this card. Here's how you use a really good card. I play this card. How is that so difficult? And you're telling me it takes 255 points to say I play Kingdom Hearts? Why? So, in the middle of all of this, it gets even worse. If I go over to duel person A, and I say, wow, that was a really close duel. I got down to 1,000 life points, but by the skin of my teeth, I just won it. So I'm gonna go over to the next guy and go duel him. Why are my life points at 1,000? Oh, didn't we tell you? You have to travel all the way back home, look at your bed, press A, and now your life points are healed. It gets worse! What? Because if you try to backstab necessary to have an infinite life combo and then mill out your opponent's deck, which is a brilliant idea, your life points get reset to 10,000! So there's a cap at the top, and there's no minimum that I can start with. I could be at 1 life point, and that's where I'll start at the next duel, unless I literally go from China to my house and look at my bed and press A every single time. There are ones who have to duel 3 in a row. The only saving grace originally was the fact that you get the God cards. The God cards are divine, they don't follow the attribute. Oh, well, you're fired, and you got attacked by a water monster. You're dead. I had an Inferno Demon of Hell, and Droplet of Water said, you're dead. No! It's divine! There's nothing that messes with divine! It costs 0. And you know what? It would have been saved. It would have been okay. It would have been great if it wasn't for the fact that God cards turned to stone! As a plot element, they take the God cards away because they're too easy to use. I was only winning the duels because of the God cards. I was praying for the day I could use a 1,000 attack point monster. Why? There are strategy guides that say there's an end to this game. I don't believe them. It is by far the worst one because there is no saving grace. There is no element of the show that I enjoy out of it. It was backwards. It was horrible. It used a lot of contrived rules we didn't need, and they took the only good thing away because plot. Really hate reshow. Yes.
So there's this card, I can't remember what the name is, but basically where you can attack and defense, and it got like translated incorrectly where it was like, you can only do it if they have no monsters. You know what I mean? Like
which one?
I can't remember what the name was, but he had it was like a knight type of card, that's what the art was. And yeah, and he could only attack and defense. And that's what the card said, but like the translation was wrong. So it said like, oh well.
Thank God for errata, because originally it's like if it's the only monster in play that it can attack, but they fixed it.
Yeah, so
kind of like saying the funny thing I remember was like, well, go ahead, sorry.
Does that mean that you can do it even though they have monsters, or?
Yes, you could do it. They've been errataed, and the erratas trumps any printed rule.
Yep.
I have 1 minute remaining. All right. Well, it looks like I have 1 minute remaining. Who wants to ask the last question?
That card was Total Defense Shogun.
I know. Dark Magician Girl. That seems off fitting in.
Okay, so since we're talking about the games, next, I wonder what games you would recommend. I have a PS2 and a DS Lite. So I was like, I played Capsule Monsters Coliseum and Duelist of Roses.
Play Dungeon Dice Monsters.
Yeah.
Dungeon Dice Monsters does not get the love that it deserves. It was Kazuki Takahashi at some of his finest game design, but also it's hilariously broken. All you have to do is put Baby Dragon in front because it's a level 1, then close it off so there's 2 squares next to it. There's only 1 square that you can attack, and according to the rules, unless you're an archer or flyer, you can't attack the flying monster. I have an impenetrable defense. Money, please. So, thank you all for coming. If you like this, remember to put it in the staff evals and enjoy Nebraska in 2014. Please, please come to Enter the Shadow Realm. I would love for all of you to come.